Yo, what's up guys? It's Dennis from Super Power Bros, and I'm bringing you today my updated Queen deck profile for OP05. I've made it last time in Ice Oni version, and I've decided to keep it in this one, and the deck's only been stronger since then. And I'm going to show you why it's the ultimate gimmicky deck, because you can take games off of anyone at any time with this deck. It's not the best deck out there, but it's possible to beat any deck. And actually, it stands toe-to-toe with NL. It's just some secret that people don't really know or care about. It's just that Queen isn't popular. But I'm going to show you my build that's very unique. And if you like gimmicking and trolling your opponents, this is the deck for you because it's the best for that. So up first we have Who's Who. Searches any Animal Kingdom pirate card, but he's very essential because we are comboing with Ice Oni and Playgrounds, so you can find either or of the pieces or your other cards that you need, which half the deck is Animal Kingdom pirates. So before I go too ahead of myself, let's talk about the leader really quick. It's the effect of having 4 or less total cards in your life in hand, that when you attack, when you have an 8 cost or more character on your board, you get to get a free life. So that's why we're going to load up the deck with triggers as well. So that's what I mean by he stands toe-to-toe with NL, because he does the same thing. Kind of infinite life, that's his thing. So first searcher is Sasaki. Well, the first card you can search is him because he's Animal Kingdom Pirates, and he does a really good effect that'll shuffle your entire hand like a reload. And then you draw the same amount, so that's pretty good because the deck can get pricky. Up next, we've got either you play 4 Brulés or 4 Hancocks. They are literally the same card, just for different colors. I'm just weird and I like mixing all my arts of colors and cards to put in, so this is what my deck looks like. But yeah, either 4 Brulé or 4 Hancock, same thing. The deck is going to be loaded with triggers because, of course, we're part yellow and the leader stacks your life. So that's why you want good triggers like this one. Next good trigger is Capone Beji. It's a really good 2K, and then the trigger, of course, to not let your opponent attack with one guy. Only found room for 2 of him. I'll show you why. It's because we run too many triggers that I had to cut him. One of the better triggers is actually Sanji, because not only is he a blocker, but the discard from the hand is a really good thing because you need to reduce your hand size sometimes just to proc the leader effect. So that's why the ones that discard are much better as well. Up next, we've got Charlotte Cracker, another one that has a discard that plays himself, and this one gives you double attack, which comes up pretty often because you're usually on lower life than your opponent. You're not really defending yourself in the early game. You just want to take the hits because you can possibly see a trigger, and then you get to use your leader's effect much earlier than usual. So up next, we've got this guy from the latest set. It's Satori, one of the better ones. He's a 2K, and same deal, just play him. To me, he's the exact same thing as Cracker, except he's a 2K, so for later on, if you draw him, it's better to see in your hand than you would see Cracker. But honestly, you can go for 4 Crackers, 2 Satoris. That's something you want to consider. Up next, this cool new girl from the latest set. It's Ulti. On play, she searches anything. You look at 3 cards and take whatever you want. And you don't even have to show it to your opponent, so that's really cool. Then you put the remaining 2 at the top or bottom of the deck in any order. Meaning you can put, if you see a really good trigger, you can put it to the top of your life according to how you want to activate your leader's effect. Or for the following turn, if you plan to use Yamato's effect to gain a life. So she's something that can stack your life that's pretty interesting as well. And she finds you missing pieces of your Ice Oni cards. And next up, we got Roki, nothing but a 5/7 for the mid-game battle, pretty much. Something you play in between. And he's searchable with the Who's Who. So 5/7, really good stat line there. Found room for 2 of those. Up next, for the moment you've been waiting for, the best part of the deck is the fun gimmicks. We've got Queen. It's the Queen that searches an entire of 7 cards from your top deck to reveal up to 2 Playgrounds or Ice Only cards and add them to the hand. Then place the rest at the bottom. So he gets to peak 7 and then pick up 2 cards. There's no other card in existence right now that lets you get that much deep into your deck to look for something. So that's why this Queen is really damn good. And it's only playable in this deck, to be honest. So we're going to try him. It's the card that everybody forgot about or that nobody knows about, but I like it. What we're going to pick up is these pair of cards here, Ice Oni and Playgrounds. They go hand in hand, so I'm going to show them together. We're running 4 and 4 of each. So Ice Oni is a card that says at the end of the battle with this character, when you battle something that costs 5 or less, you bottom deck that card. So it's really damn good against most of the meta today. So it actually has a lot of great application. And he costs 8 with 0 attack, right? So you're like, oh, this guy is horrible. Nah, he's got Playgrounds that cheats him out. Playground says you got to trash the Ice Oni from the hand. then you bottom deck an opponent's character that costs 4 or less, and then you play the ice only from the trash. So not only do you remove something like 3,000 Worlds does, you get to play this guy for free, and then he's an 8 cost, which means he triggers your leader's effect to be gaining free life much earlier than you would in other deck builds that play Queen. So we're running 4 and 4. The Queen character card can pick them all up. The Who's Who can pick up whichever piece you're missing. The ulti can pick up whatever piece you're missing. And then Sasaki can shuffle your whole hand if you happen to see too many of each or the other in your hand. So that's just how this deck's going to work. And it really is the ultimate gimmick because people always forget what he does or don't really respect him. Where they begin to attack with things, he can bottom deck a Magellan, no problem, and you're not even affected by its effect. So that's what's really good about Ice Oni. And then, of course, Playgrounds to just get rid of an entire Borsalino by itself. And then you leave an 8-drop body on board. Like, your opponent's going to need to use Ice Age just to get rid of this thing. So, really good cards. Up next, we got the big guys. It's Charlotte Katakuri. We're playing just one of him. I found room for just one. I mostly only ever want to play him if I have to remove something that an opponent has that's really troubling, or if I want to put back a Brule or the Hancock to the bottom of my life pile so that I can survive later for the late game. Up next, the star of the show, it wouldn't be a deck without Yamato. Wouldn't stand a chance without this. 4 of Yamatos, just like NL, this thing is really powerful. It gives you a free life and destroys something for you when you have 1 or less life. So you can use her and you can use Queen's effect at the same turn in this deck because she costs 9, then you're left with 1 Dawn. You can use Queen's effect if you still have a little bit of life and little hand. You get 2 life in 1 turn. So that's what I mean by this deck is, can match with NL in that sense of infinite life. The last 2 boss cards I choose to play is Kaido. This one is searchable through the Who's Who. And he's more of a game ender. You just, bounce 2 cards, so it's not that bad. We do not play the Kaido, the new one that gives you +4 draw, because you don't want to have a big hand in this deck. You need to have a small hand so that you can use your leader's effect much more often. So I went with him. And another thing you can go for if you don't want to go for the Kaido is, what's his name? Mihawk. The 9-drop Mihawk is a really good option as well. I just chose Kaido because it's searchable with the Who's Who. And last 2 cards we're playing is a couple of removal cards. It's going to be Gum Gum Red Rock, also with a nasty trigger as well, being that you're getting free life. You might see this in the triggers, and then you're damaging them even more. So Red Rock just to get rid of everything, because we don't have much removal in this entire deck except for the big Kaido and Yamato. So you need some small type of removal as well in Gum Red Rock. And actually, I'm lying. You have Ice Oni and Playgrounds that do the removal for you as well. So there's this and Playgrounds and Ice Oni that can all remove things. So that's the full deck list. I'm going to neaten it out for you just so you can see the ratios. So this is it, guys. The full deck profile inside with all the ratios. That is the lovely Yamato and the horrible glare there. And this is my great Frankenstein project of a deck that I made Queen. I hope you appreciate the unique twist of playing cards that nobody ever cared to look twice at, like Ice Oni and Playgrounds and the Queen, because I think looking at 7 in the deck is really good. And it's not so horribly inconsistent as it's perceived. You have so many ways to search things. You have Who's Who, Queen, and ulti to search all your pieces here. And then the deck is well designed by multiplying your top life and then gaining so many triggers in the deck. Like all these guys here. And even Playgrounds is a trigger. I forgot to say that. That if you have Ice Onis in hand, even Playgrounds can activate its main effect as a trigger. And then boom, you're bottom decking a 4 cost on your opponent's turn. And then leaving this guy on for you during your own turn. So this is what we got. I haven't been able to play much tournaments lately because of work reasons and scheduling. But on the Sims, there hasn't been a deck that I can't beat. I'm not saying I beat them all the time, but this thing can take on any deck pretty much because of the nice surprise factors that people don't know what these cards do or that they're even coming. So they set up and then boom, you're like bottom deck, and then Ice Oni, you can't attack with 5 cost guys or they're going to get removed for free. So yeah, and then you have Yamato to give you free life later in the game and Queen to give you free life late in the game. So hope you enjoyed the deck list. I've been Dennis, and see you all on the next video. Peace.